All right, Cass, so this sounds like it's straight out of a movie here.
When my friend told me that her mom was going to do this, I had the same thought, and all I could do was make a face at her. And she looked at me and she goes, that was exactly my face when my mom told me this. And she did give me permission to share this. So her dad's been going through something and nobody really knows what. He's your typical kind of like boomer dude, anti-therapy. I can handle it on my own. Like, feels like he needs to be strong for the family. And if any cracks show, if he goes to therapy or talks about his feelings, then kind of the whole structure falls apart. And my friend has tried telling him, like, hey, that's not, you have been the cornerstone and the leader of this family, but, it's okay to show your emotions. And those weren't her exact words. She did it as like a daughter-father conversation, but that was essentially the message. And so, of course, she talks to her mom about her dad because she's worried. Mom is worried too. And mom goes, basically, honey, don't worry, I have a genius plan. And my friend's like, oh my God, what? Like, what can I do to help dad? And she goes, oh, your father's not in on it, but I'm going to take some of my depression meds and basically put them in his food.
That's a real bad idea.
That's horrendous idea.
We all know.
A crime?
Yeah, it's called drugging someone.
Yes, it's not ethical. You don't know how their body is going to react to the drugs, man. I mean, this is a real danger zone here.
But mom is like the same thing essentially that I've been saying, which is like, hey, those meds changed my life. They made me see clearly. It just made everything more manageable. And she's like, your dad needs help. He won't go to therapy. He won't take drugs. I'm not going to sit here and be chained to a ball and chain who doesn't want to help himself, and I can't help him. This is the only way as his wife that I know to help him. And of course, my friend's like, do not do this for all the reasons we just mentioned. But mama's pretty gung-ho. She's like, no, baby, it'll be fine. Once we get going and his mood changes and he starts to feel better, then I will tell him what I have done.
I would put this on the same level as infidelity.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. This is such a breach of trust. And I mean, and talking about the chemicals again, I mean, you just don't know how he's going to react. Plus, I'm on these meds and they taste awful. All right. If it seeps through like, the outer shell and you can taste it, it's terrible. He's going to know unless her cooking is that bad.
Okay. So in order to convince your friend's mom that this is a horrendous idea, please have your friend go back to her mom and give her this scenario, this analogy of what she's doing. Be like, hey, mom, how would you feel if you and dad disagreed about having another kid? He was adamant that it was going to be great for the family. It was going to be great for the both of you. This family needs another child. And you were adamantly against it. Like, absolutely not. This is not what's best for me. This is not what's best for the family. I don't want another kid. But then he started switching out your birth control with placebos and you ended up getting pregnant. How would you feel?
Man, I feel like that's a little different.
Is it?
Yeah, being stuck with a kid versus like, I am not endorsing the drugging. Like, let me be very clear. But I don't think she'll respond to that because then you're like with it. That feels even more egregious, and they're both egregious. Do you know what I mean? They're both bad missteps. Her mom though is so like, this is gonna fix it, baby. This is how I can help your dad as his wife. Like, she is genuinely, I can tell you, she is coming from the most well-intentioned place. She loves her husband. They have tried everything, conversations, family meetings, intervention style, like subtle suggestions, downloading apps, like literally everything. And he will not budge. He is in such a funk. So in her mind, she is doing what she's supposed to do as a supportive partner and fixing the situation and helping her husband. But of course, to her daughter and to me, we're like, ugh, you can't drug somebody against their will. This is a really bad idea. I know you want to help him, but this ain't it.
I don't doubt that it's coming from a good place because obviously, like, she thinks, oh, if he just takes the meds, he's not going to be depressed anymore. And so she's not seeing like the alternative of what could actually be really bad and the fact that there are actual consequences to someone taking drugs that aren't going to work for them. And so I feel like the only way to really steer this ship around is to show, like, I don't know, articles or people's experiences on the internet about how these medications might not always work the way they're intended to work because not everybody's body chemistry is the same.
Mo, if your woman did this to you, and you found out about it, how long before you break up with her?
It would be less than a week, honestly. I mean, if you're willing to sacrifice my health like that in order for yourself, it just kind of feels very selfish to me, and that you're more about you than me. And if my wife can't come to me and find a different solution than having to drug me, then I would feel like we have a major problem.
So that's a question, because I think, rationally, we're all like, it's a bad idea. But I think her mom would respond, because we've told her this, or my friend has told her this, and I've told my friend what I think. So, but the thought is, how do you get through then to a guy who clearly needs help?
I don't know, man. But I do know this, that if she thinks this is a good idea, she needs to double up on the meds that she's about to give him.
What if the daughter told the dad what mom was planning on doing? Ooh. Because if somebody you love is about to be drugged, would you not want to tell them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as the daughter, mom has now put her in this horrible position of, if I were the daughter, I would be like, Mom, if you do this, I'm telling Dad.
Yeah, for sure.
I would do the same.
That's a good point.
The Bert Show.